Deciphering the male mind has always felt like trying to read a book with half the pages missing. On the outside, men often appear calm, controlled, confident, but inside, their thoughts are rarely as simple as they make them seem. And here's the truth: most men are not taught to share what they really feel. From a young age, they're told to man up, to never cry, to never reveal weakness. So instead, they hide. They build walls. They wear masks. But if you know where to look, those walls have cracks. And through those cracks, you'll see the signs of what he will never admit out loud. When a man is uncertain about his emotions, he almost never says it to you, to his friends, to anyone. He'll act like he knows exactly what he's doing. But deep down, his mind is full of hesitation. That's why his behavior seems inconsistent. One day he pulls away, the next day he shows up like nothing happened. And if you've ever wondered why, this is it. He won't admit he's lost, but the inconsistency speaks louder than words. And let me tell you something: many women take his silence as indifference. But silence often means the opposite. Sometimes silence means he's overwhelmed by feelings he doesn't know how to handle. Sometimes it means he cares too much and doesn't know how to say it. If you stay with me, I'll reveal the one fear behind this silence that almost every man has, but will never, ever admit. Another thing men rarely confess is how afraid they are of being judged. Even the strongest, most confident man carries that fear. What will she think if I say this? Will I look weak if I admit that? Will she lose respect for me if she knows the truth? That's why, when you ask him direct questions, his answers are often short, vague, or quickly followed by a change of subject. It's not that he doesn't care, it's that he's terrified of being seen as less than strong. And then there's the way men hide their affection. He might never say, "I miss you," but watch what he does instead. He'll suddenly message you about something random. He'll bring up a tiny memory you shared months ago. He'll show up in places where he knows he might run into you. These small actions are his way of admitting what he won't put into words: you're on his mind, constantly. Now here's something interesting. Pride is one of the most stubborn parts of the male mind. A man may realize he's wrong, but admitting it, that's another story. Instead, he'll circle back in subtle ways. Maybe he cracks a joke. Maybe he accidentally starts a conversation. Maybe he sends something meaningless, just to see if you'll respond. That's pride talking. Pride refuses to say, "I need you." But the attempt to reconnect says exactly that. And let's not forget the constant comparisons men make. He may never admit this to you, or even to himself, but inside, he's always measuring his success against other men, measuring whether he's good enough for you, measuring whether he lives up to the version of himself he wishes he could be. That's why some men feel the need to prove themselves over and over through achievements, through work, through even the smallest wins. That need for recognition is a hidden signal of fear of not being enough. Now, let's talk about the eyes. Because if you really want to know the truth, watch his eyes. Words can be controlled. Smiles can be faked, actions can be rehearsed. But his eyes will always tell you the truth. If he avoids holding your gaze, if he looks at you when he thinks you're not watching, if he stares a second too long before quickly looking away, that's not nothing. That's his feelings leaking through the cracks. But wait, because in just a moment, I'm going to tell you the one sign that reveals when he's not just thinking about you, but when he's terrified you're slipping away. Stay with me, because this is one of the biggest truths about the male mind. Before we get there, let's uncover another secret. Men often bury their emotions in distractions: work, hobbies, friends, sports, even endless scrolling on their phone. From the outside, it looks like he's just busy, but often it's more than that. It's a strategy to drown out thoughts he doesn't want to face. He won't admit that he's trying to silence his feelings, but if you look closely, the pattern is obvious. And then there's what happens when you pull away. This is one of the clearest signs of all. He may never tell you he misses you. He may never admit how much he notices your absence. But when you step back, and suddenly he steps forward, that's the proof. That's the silent confession. He won't say, "I can't stand the thought of losing you," but his actions will shout it. Let's go deeper. Men don't like to talk about jealousy. In fact, many will deny it completely. But watch what happens when you casually mention someone else. Watch how his tone changes, how his mood shifts, how his body stiffens even as he tries to play it cool. That's jealousy. He won't admit, "I'm afraid of losing you," but his reaction already told you everything. And here's something women often miss: how men hold on to memories. A man may never admit that he still replays old moments in his head, but if he brings up that one night, that one joke, that one thing you said long ago, it's not random. It's his way of telling you, without words, that it still matters to him. He may not say, "I still think about us," but his memory does the talking for him. Now, here it is, the sign I promised. The fear that sits at the very core of the male mind. The fear he will almost never admit. The fear of being forgotten. More than failure. More than rejection. More than embarrassment. What he fears most is being replaced in your heart. That one day you'll move on, and his place in your life will vanish forever. He may never say it. He may act indifferent. But every sudden text, every attempt to reconnect, every little reminder of his presence is his unspoken plea: "Don't forget me." This fear is what drives so much of his hidden behavior. It's why he lingers even after he's pulled away. It's why he checks in when you least expect it. It's why he struggles to let go, even when he pretends he already has. He may never confess it, but deep down, that fear shapes the way he acts, the way he loves, and the way he hides. And if you've stayed with me until now, here's the truth you need to remember. The male mind is never as silent as it looks. The walls he builds are not solid. The masks he wears always slip, and the things he never says out loud, those are the things that reveal the most. So the next time he stays quiet, don't take it at face value. Don't just listen to the words that never came. Look at the signs, the small gestures, the way he shows up, the way he avoids, the way he remembers, because hidden inside those details is every confession he'll never make with words. And maybe the most powerful thing you can do is to notice what he's too afraid to say, because once you see it, you can never unsee it. Once you know, you'll never doubt it again.